Okay, so I'm so glad they kind of took today off to do catching up with their own stuff. From what I've heard, I haven't finished. I haven't even started watching day 33, 7, 1, 11. But it's good because it gives me time to catch up on watching that, and that's the only day that I have left to watch. So I'm going to go ahead and continue the updates for anybody who's missed them or who's needed them. So this is day 30, 6/28, 2011. There was a sidebar before court started. Defense witness Joseph Jordan, and this is done by Cheney Mason. He volunteered with Texas EquiSearch in 2008. He led teams of 10 to 30 people, searched Suburban Drive on 9/1/2008, showing jury where he searched. He showed jury where he searched with Texas EquiSearch. Did not find a pink baby blanket, or he did find a pink baby blanket and a cooler. Put it in a report first occasion, and turned it over to Texas EquiSearch. He said there was standing water. Had a police officer from Panama City and had them their dog sniff the blanket and cooler. Sent an email to investigators to say they searched in the area where Kaylee's remains were found and told them he believed the body had been moved after he searched. State Cross. He contacted detectives before he volunteered, provided with maps of places to search. He did not go into woods very far because of the deep water, he said. Uh, Goes through reports and maps he maintained about the searches he completed. Defense redirect. Water was clear with sand bottom, and he said you could see through it. Has no present reason to alter places where he searched. When asked in this investigation, in this case, were you threatened with felony prosecution? He started to say, on advice of counselor, based on my Fifth Amendment right. And then it was objected and a sidebar. Judge had witness step down and step outside and jury out. State counsel said that counsel was eliciting an invocation of the Fifth Amendment, and proper counsel knew the witness would invoke the Fifth because of questioning at deposition in the same response. Defense says the witness broke the law, did not expect him to take the Fifth. State said there is no change of the testimony. He believed he was in the area where remains were found, but he made a mistake and he was further east. Jordan was granted use of immunity for his statement. Defense cannot acquire what he did to get immunity. Judge tells jury disregard questions about if he had any reason to change testimony and about in this investigation and in the case were you threatened with felony prosecution, and his last response. And that's the end of that witness. Also, I want to note for that witness specifically and for Dominic Casey that I will get to at a later time, or I have actually talked about. Yes, I believe. Yes, I've already talked about. I believe I've already talked about Dominic Casey and James Hoover. But anywho, I was watching In Session. While I was watching In Session, Vinnie Politan from In Session was actually on Suburban Drive and did a physical walk and showed where each person was and where each event. And on pictures, it looks a lot closer than what it really was. He showed, okay, this is where, he showed it where Kaylee's remains were found. Then he walked further. This is where, Dominic Casey and James Hoover were at. And then he said this is where Texas EquiSearch was at. So there was very distinct distances between everybody's searches. So nobody really was in the area of Kaylee. And I really hope that the jury realized this. But I don't know. Defense witness George Anthony, the fourth time he's on the stand, says he knows Krista Holloway and by another name of River Cruz. Met her at a command volunteer center. She was just another volunteer, he said. Did not have a romantic relationship with her. Never intimate with her, and did not borrow money from her, and he did go to her house. He went to her house because she told him she had a brain tumor, and he was showing compassion since she volunteered. He always went in the daytime, never at nighttime. She also explained to him that she had a brain tumor and medical problems to Cindy. Cindy didn't go to her residence but knew George was there, had nothing to hide. He never confided in anyone that this was an accident that snowballed out of control. Yes, he did send a text message saying, "I need you in my life." He said he sent many texts to many people who were helping out, and I needed those people in my life. Quote, "I never had any relationship with her. She has a questionable past and has been arrested. I did not have an affair with her, so he did not tell her," end quote. Or so he said, "I did not tell her not to tell anyone. I don't believe I would talk to her late at night," he said. State Cross. Met her sometime in the middle of to the third week of October 2008. He never told River Cruz that while Casey was on bond, that he grabbed her by the throat and threw her up against the wall and said, "Where's Kaylee?" Defense witness Cindy Anthony, the sixth time she's been on stand. When being sworn in again, she said, "So help me God, yes." Did not instruct Jim Hoover or Dominic Casey to search off from Suburban Drive, nor did she ask them to go and videotape it. She told Uri Malich there was a blanket missing. On 12/11/2008, she said police did not leave a search warrant or an inventory list. Knew by the 20th of December 2008 that she had received that information. First knowledge of search by Hoover and Casey was after Kaylee's remains were found. Defense witness Lee Anthony, the fourth time he's on the stand, had a conversation or argument with Cindy about search and videotape of Suburban Drive. Went to Anthony's home. Cindy told Lee she sent Dominic to Suburban because she got a tip from a psychic. He was angry because they offered up that they were looking for a deceased Kaylee. State Cross. He said he went back to work in October 2008 and the conversation took place before that. Defense redirect state, then a state recross. As of 2008, he was sold on lies. Casey told him yes and no was the answer. Defense witness Uri Malich, sixth time, originally called by state. 12/20/2008 was executing search warrants. He recalls Cindy saying she had her people walk that area a month prior, meaning the area where the remains were recovered. Defense witness Roy Kronk. This was done by Cheney Mason. Now this is where it gets a little interesting. Meter reader in the summer and winter months in 2008 for Orange County. Since May 27, 2008, he was a water meter reader. Assigned routes nights. He was assigned his routes the night before. August 28th had route in Hope Spring Drive area. On August 11, 2008, no one was with him at the time. He started the route by himself. Two co-workers joined him later in the afternoon. Stopped vehicle on Suburban Drive to relieve himself. Knew about Kaylee Anthony being missing. He did not watch media on a daily basis. Roommate did watch it. Saw object that appeared odd to him on 8/11/2008. He thought he saw something that looked like a skull. Found a dead rattlesnake. He called Crime Line about maybe finding a skull. No one came and talked to him. 8/12/2008 read his route and went home. 8/13/2008 called sheriff's office again, and two officers came out, never took them into the woods, and they never asked him to. He pointed in the area where he believed he saw a skull. Called non-emergency number at home. Did not smell anything while in the area. I was never any closer than 30 feet from a bag. On 8/11/2008, the woods was dry. At that time, he believes of knowing of a reward for finding Kaylee. Recess. Court when they come back, continued defense direct. 8/11, 8/12, and 8/13/2008. They played calls from 911 or if they came from 911 calls or tip lines. In the first one on 8/11/2008, he didn't even know the road name of the Anthony's home. He called it Good Hope. He also said he saw a snake. I'm not going in there. Second 911 call, 8/12/2008. Gray vinyl white bag and looked like a pool cover. 8/13 2008. After second call to 911, I watched TV and went to bed. At the end of the day, 8/11/2008, knew where Anthony's home was, but at the beginning he did not know. Was not involved in any capacity with the investigation of the case. Went on Good Morning America in January 2009. Was paid $15,000 for a licensed picture of a snake. Paid $5,000 from Crime Line. Orange County paid for attorney until he was terminated. Has a son named Brandon Sparks. Did not call son and say he was soon to be famous. Between August 13th and 12/11/2008, he never went out there again. No law enforcement inspected his vehicle or have a cadaver dog search his vehicle. Was not asked to give DNA. Did not know phone records were obtained. 12/11/2008 on the same route. Went into the woods. Was not searching again. Found Caylee Anthony's remains a different spot than before. In August, it was flooded, and it wasn't in December. He was standing behind the skull, and he still didn't believe it was real, so he took his meter reader stick, gently put it in the right eye socket, lifted it up, realized what it was, gently put it back down, and called supervisor. At this point, Casey Anthony's giving Roy Kronk a nasty look. He hadn't picked it up all the way, just pivoted it up a bit. He don't remember discussing a reward. He went back into the woods to relieve himself. He said he talked to son on 12/11 that if he turned on TV, he would see him for the first time since he was 8 years old. Recess. Continue Defense Direct when they come back. Between August and December 2008, talked to his son a total of 12 to 15 times. So that's, I'm going to go ahead and end that here. That's part 1 of day 30 on 6/20/2011.